What is up, everybody? I am Kevin Iole, and I should tell this story as I was waiting for Carlos Ulberg to join me here. I'm going through the list of his opponents, and I thought I was going to be smart and start saying, well, he fought this guy and fought that guy. And as I'm looking at his record, I'm going, he fought the guys with the most difficult to pronounce names I have ever seen in my life. And so I'm going to sit there and say, no, I'm not going to list off these guys that he's beaten because he's had a lot of the difficult ones. Safe to say, though, everybody knows who he's fighting on Saturday in Macau, China, when he takes on Volkan Oezdemir. Carlos, how are you doing, brother?
All good, man. Feeling the wrath of the fight week. Last bit of weight to drop today. So getting amongst it though. Really getting used to the UFC fight weeks though, and feeling a little more confident as we get closer to the fight.
Well, you have been on a roll since your debut. Lost to Kennedy and Shakwu in your USA debut in 2021, but ever since then, you've run the table and got yourself into the rankings, and now fighting a guy that's fought for the title. Is this just something that you always knew you would be able to do? And is this a position that you knew you would get in eventually in this sport?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, my whole goal was to get that title, to get the title, to be the champion, and to do a little more than that as well. So this is just a stepping stone for where I eventually want to get to. Um, Being the champion is only part of that, and if you're in this sport to fight, then it's all good. But for me, my goals are to become the champion, and that's what drives me. That's what gives me the urge to get up in the morning.
And you said that's part of it, right? Part of being the champion. What else is part of it? What's you love something out there?
Oh, there's a lot more, man. But this one here, we'll focus on this first, and we'll, just like we want to focus on Volkan Oezdemir, and because he is a mountain, he is definitely someone that we can't look past. We can't think that it's gonna go and we're gonna go in there and it's gonna be a walk in the park. No, for sure. He's uh he's been in there with some of the best. He is he's a well developed fighter. He has the experience. So and he picked up his game. So I feel like he's got just as much as he has a good stand up game. I feel like he has uh, a, an incredible ground game as well. He went from one gym to the other. Where you look now, where you've got All Star Gym, where they now got a lot of grapplers who have come from that gym. Very well grapplers, good grapplers. So you might expect that. So come Saturday night, you might have to expect something, anything to happen.
A lot of times when guys get to the UFC, after, I know you didn't have that many fights when you got to the UFC, but, their knockout rate goes down. Your knockout rate has stayed very consistent. The competition is getting better and better, and you're still doing that. What do you think that says? And is that something, are you a person that actually goes into fights looking to get finishes?
Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, like, you go into the fight, you go into the fight, and to please the bosses or to get to where you want to get to. You wanna put on a good show for the crowd. You want to put on a good show, and that's what the people want. You want to give what the people want to see, and they want to see a fight. They want to see excitement. They want to be hanging at the edge of their seats where anything can happen at any moment, and that's the credibility of being in the light heavyweight division where you have the power of the heavyweights, and then you have the speed of guys like in the welterweights. So um, we it's an exciting time to be a light heavyweight right now, man. We've got some hot guys right now at the top, very top of the table and of the food chain. So be there to be the man. You got to beat the man.
When you see what Alex Pereira is doing, I know you're on this big streak that I just referenced, and you see him beating former champions and everything. Does that make it even more daunting knowing the kind of champion you have at the very top, what you have to do to get yourself back, you're close now to make that final hurdle?
Yeah, it's not daunting. It's not daunting at all. I'm not, he's done a great job. He's done a great job to get himself to where he is right now, for sure. And just as quickly as he's doing that, I'm developing as well. So I know I'm going to get there eventually, and I'm in God's speed. And I feel like I'm not in too much of a rush, but I know I can see it. It's not too much of a distant dream right now. It's getting closer. It's it's attainable, and I feel like at any given moment we can get that call. So I'm preparing my mind, I'm preparing my body, I'm preparing my skill set. I'm developing. I'm throwing a few more tricks up my sleeve, and I don't want to show too much of my cards just yet. But who knows? Saturday night, um, I do have a few. I do have a few which I'd love to express out there and show, which I could have not shown before, but this may be the right time.
Well, good. Can't wait to see what that is. I want to ask you this. Dana White has made the point, and he's mentioned Pereira and Adesanya as two examples of this. Kickboxers who came in not necessarily having wrestling backgrounds and yet succeeded at an extreme high level and continue to, put all those wins together. And, there have been successful kickboxers throughout the years in the UFC, but I think, a lot of them have had, they had to have that wrestling background. And I wonder, what do you think the change is now? Is it just better coaching? Like, are you guys getting coached better and getting prepared better going into the thing where, you're more ready to take on the different styles than maybe kickboxers in the past and MMA had been?
Yes, a bit of everything that you've just said and mentioned. It is evolution. It is yeah, it is evolution, and it's kind of built and evolving pretty quickly. The sport is growing just as fast as it is evolving. Um, so a lot more attention is going to MMA in particular. There is not one particular where everyone's kind of just got a few more tricks now to present themselves with. And I feel like if you don't have the full package, then you're not going to go very far in the division. If you look at guys like Pereira, he has a good ground game.
Right.
He has that, but he doesn't need to show it just yet. No one has really been able to uh, bring that out of him just yet. But he's got it. It's just that he has what he has and what he's kind of been built on. So he doesn't need to. But I feel like it's just a universal language when it comes to MMA right now, where you kind of have to uh, build all of your skill set in terms of your ground game as well as your stand up game.
You were a very successful kickboxer and transitioned into MMA. Do you feel like there's going to be a flood now of kickboxers? Because to me, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but it seems to me MMA is more lucrative, right, than kickboxing, and so I wonder if you feel like, the success of yourself and Alex and Israel and et cetera, is going to try to, maybe help lead to a flood of kickboxers trying MMA.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. There is a big amount of kickboxers flooding in right now. Obviously, the UFC is the at the very top of promotions around the world, if not the best in the world sport. And you have guys like Bahito, who was a glory champion, who's also beaten Pereira, who's now joined the UFC. So
Right.
you're definitely gonna look at guys who are at the top of the kickboxing background, kickboxing um, promotions to join the UFC. And then you've also got wrestlers who are top wrestlers who are also joining the UFC. So you're just going to have guys at the very top elite levels of their own um, disciplines joining in. It's just that you see and you hear a lot of the kickboxers getting that fast track because they're getting the knockouts.
Yes,
And yeah,
like you.
and that's exactly that's what the people want to see. They want to see excitement. They want to be hanging at the edge of their seats. They don't want to hang around for a few rounds of wrestling. They want to see something exciting.
Well, you and Volkan Oezdemir. I'll tell you what, the top couple of fights on this card are going to be a lot of fun with Peter Yan and Davison Figueiredo and your fight. There's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of action on that card. Let's wrap up just with this. I know you're confident, and you said you're going to show something and maybe people haven't seen against Volkan Oezdemir. Um, just how do you think this fight goes? And do you think, do you have to go into this with the idea that this is going to be a grueling fight against a guy like that, given who he's fought, who he's beaten?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm expecting everything and anything. It could go 3 rounds because of his durability. He's a very durable guy. It's very hard to knock a guy like Wisdom out and put him out cold. Although it has happened, it's just a very tough thing to do.
Right.
Where he's a very tricky fighter. So there may be a few things that we may need to tap into when it comes Saturday night. So anything can happen. Expect the unexpected, but definitely expect a crowd pleaser.
Can't wait to see it. Carlos Ulberg, appreciate your brother. Good luck on Saturday night.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate you, man.
See you soon.